Before I get started with this, let me give a shout out to LB for sending this to me. When he sent it, he said, "This is most definitely a triple P." It's just like, it actually warms my heart when people send me stories like this and they just know that it's triple P related. And this one right here is most definitely triple P related. So, in case y'all don't know who this woman is, this is Rachel Nichols. She came under fire a couple months ago with some comments that got revealed in a conversation that she had last year with somebody else involving Maria Taylor, who used to work at ESPN, a black woman who used to work at ESPN, who now works at another network, pretty much doing the same thing that she was doing at ESPN. Well, let's fast forward to now, where Rachel Nichols is now apparently going to be off of ESPN herself. And not because she's seeking new employment, but because she basically, in my opinion, hasn't really recovered from this quote unquote controversial scandal that she has now been wrapped up in. Now, the article that I'm about to read from is called, it's from Deadline, It's called "Rachel Nichols Pulled Off NBA Coverage by ESPN, The Jump Canceled. Host posts more to come message on Twitter." So not only was she pulled off of ESPN as it seems, but her show was also canceled as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this article. It was posted on Deadline August 25th, 2021. With the NBA preseason set to start in about 6 weeks, ESPN has removed Rachel Nichols from its coverage of the league and canceled what is arguably its flagship NBA-focused show, The Jump, which Nichols fronted. Nichols' last appearance on the show was August 16th. Since then, it has been hosted by ESPN NBA reporter Malika Andrews. The cascade of events started this summer when the New York Times reported on leaked comments made by Nichols, who was white, and another of the network's highest profile female hosts, Maria Taylor, who was black. That led to a cascade of changes, which saw Nichols removed from the network's NBA Finals coverage, and Taylor, who subsequently left the network, elevated to hosting that coverage. David Roberts, who this month was tapped to lead ESPN NBA production, including event and studio production, said the following in statement: "We mutually agreed that this approach regarding our NBA coverage was best for all concerned," wrote Roberts. Rachel is an excellent reporter, host, and journalist, and we thank her for many contributions to our NBA content. That sounds like the very politically correct response to give, but I understand why they have to get it. Shortly after the news broke on Tuesday via Sports Business Journal and confirmed by the Times, Nichols posted a statement on Twitter. Deadline has reached out to ESPN, which did not immediately return to a request for comment. "Got to create a whole show and spend 5 years hanging out with some of my favorite people talking about one of my favorite things, which is basketball. An eternal thank you to our amazing producers and crew. The Jump was never built to last forever, but it sure was fun." She ended with a cryptic "more to come." The Nichols shift is the latest in a number of high-profile talent moves at the network. There was Taylor, who left for NBC. Pioneering NBA journalist Jackie McMullen recently announced her retirement. Then there's Max Kellerman, who, while not leaving the fold entirely, is being moved off First Take to expand his work on ESPN Radio from 2 hours a day to 4, and also hosts a to-be-determined television series. Now, what I find interesting is I was reading through some of the comments on Deadline, and of course I can tell just by the response to the people responding to this, and it was only 15 comments, that it's mainly PC people that are upset about her being fired and not for the fact of the stuff that she's being fired for. So it's like she was allowed to say these things. She got caught, she got busted, and they still feel that the company was wrong for removing her. Now, what makes this even more interesting, this is what actually makes the triple P to this story even more funnier than anything. And when I found this out, I said, oh, this is definitely going to be very, very, very interesting. Remember the David Roberts person, the one that they said was basically the one responsible for, delivering the news to Rachel Nichols that she would be removed and her show would be canceled? This is him. This is David Roberts. Imagine that a black man had the power in the pen to fire this white woman, to get her up off of one of sports' most recognized networks because of what she did. That's what made this even more interesting. When I found this out, I said, oh, we definitely going to talk about it. Because I didn't know, like, that at first that this was, at the hands of a black man who was able to do this, but it is, and hey, maybe that'll make them a little bit more mad. I'm not entirely sure. Now, there has always been some things said when black people are in a managerial position and a lot of the employees happen to be white, that the white employees like to be and act a little defiant, because it's like in their eyes, there's no way that a black person could ever hold this over me, or they can be over me in any capacity. Well, in this instance, he was. And so it says he is the one. They say he was the ESPN's lead. He was tapped to lead the ESPN's NBA production over event and studio productions. So he just got this position, and already he made an executive decision to get rid of Rachel Nichols. I can't even be mad at it. But they probably going to try to come after him. Y'all know that, right? They love to do that. Hopefully they don't, but I won't hold my breath. But this concludes this edition of the Triple P, whatever you want to call it. Now, will Rachel Nichols get another job? Most likely. Where at? I don't know. She might end up over at Fox Sports. She might get her own podcast. I'm not entirely sure. But 9 times out of 10, it won't be another position at ESPN. She's already pretty much, I guess you could say, relinquished herself of that role, considering the content that came out of her mouth.